How did we do last year? It was second worst, if I'm not.
The winter of 2013, 2014, in fact, was the second worst winter on record. With, and I forgot the numbers, 161, I think, was the number of breaks. Compared to the worst winter was 190, 171 was last winter. Yeah, and the worst was 190. That's right.
So the last winter, 2014, 2015, how did we do last?
You're right. This winter that we're just coming out of, not as bad for water main breaks. At this point, we're something in the order of 80 at this point, which is more typical of our typical winters. However, this year we had quite a number of frozen services in the range of, I think, 160 or so frozen services, which is kind of unusual because the winter, normally the water main breaks and the frozen services go together, but something unusual this winter. We had quite a number of frozen services, but not so many water main breaks. Maybe we should close this. So I'm not sure why it's unusual.
So do we have a final number on the number of water main breaks last year, 2014, 2015?
We won't have that.
No.
We measure November to November.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, we could give you an update, but it wouldn't be our final number.
Okay, but it wasn't as high as the winter before.
It won't be anywhere near, it will be about half, because so far we're at about 80 breaks, which is typical, more along the long-term average.
So you're saying we're still cheaper per 800 kilowatt hour average monthly bill, Terry?
We're the third or fourth lowest in the province again this year, as far as 800 residential.
This is for the year 2014?
2014, yes, and we don't expect that to change in 2015. There would be very little in the way of change in rates for 2015.
Where's the information available on that?
That's on the OEB website.
OEB?
You can go in, OEB, Ontario Energy Board.
Okay.
You can go on their website and they have a spreadsheet in there that lists all the utilities.
Okay. Are we the lowest in Northern Ontario? Out of the four major,
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have the exact number handy?
Of how much it is per month?
Yeah.
I think it's around $113 per month.
Yeah, 113.34.
Yeah.
I think is the exact figure.
Yeah.
Let's see here. You also passed an increasing of miscellaneous services, and there's quite a list of them there. Is this subject, it's being passed, right? Is this subject to final approval by City Council, the city being the quote-unquote main shareholder?
No. No, that water bylaw is a bylaw of the commission, and it's in regards to miscellaneous water services. So it's not related to the water that you consume. It's related to development of lands. So if you need a water service to connect a new house, or you want to upgrade your service to a larger size service, then that's what that bylaw covers, the fees for that kind of
Any major
activity.
Differences compared to last year?
No, generally speaking, they're within 10% of last year. Some have actually gone down, some have gone up.
But that doesn't have, those user fees are for specific services. They don't have nothing to do with the average monthly residential bill.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're specific to land development or hot new connections.
What does the PUC have planned this year for water main building? I mean, you go as the city builds its and resurfaces and reconstructs its roads, so does the PUC. So
That's right.
what roads are you looking at this year as we go into construction season?
I don't have the actual roads, but there's a number of roads that we will be reconstructing the water main. They are roads that are being rebuilt by the city, and generally we take advantage of that opportunity to replace the mains at most cost effectively.
Yeah, I think we issued a press release on that in the last water quality improvement update. It was last night, and it was listed the streets that we're working in partnership with the city for reconstruction.
Okay, all right, and that's found on the website too.
It will be on the website, yeah. And I can send you a copy directly if you'd like.
Sure, that'd be great. Yeah. The water quality issue didn't come up tonight, but how is that going? Is phase
quite
one,
very,
is
very
phase
well.
one complete now? Or?
He's, well, not totally complete. We're still implementing the final treatment process at the water treatment plant to adjust the pH level at the water treatment plant. But in essence, the phase one is complete. This last bit of work at the treatment plant won't really affect anything that's going on at this time. So basically at this point, we're in a stage of monitoring the system as the pipes, the water acclimatizes to the new treatment processes. So we'll be monitoring the water conditions through the year, and monitoring calls from customers if there are any, and assessing towards the end of the year whether or not we're going to need to go to stage 2. And part of that will be this water quality survey that will be conducted by, again, Ipsos Reid in probably November of this year.
Okay.
And that'll feed into the decision making on whether or not we need to go to stage 2.
Not as many complaints about brown water and taste, odors?
Very, very few. I don't have exact numbers, but there's, I doubt that there's more than 1 or 2 a week at this point. From the last I've looked, there's perhaps 1 or 2 a week.
Is that brown water or just taste?
Just taste and odor. There have been a few brown water calls, but they have been linked to water main breaks. And certainly any time we have a water main break, it's such a drastic impact to the system that we can expect brown water at that point.
Dominic, just one question about the testing results. Maybe Dan is the better person to answer this, but the one stat that really stuck out was the lead results. There were,
yeah.
I think it was like on average 1 of every 6 tests there was lead exceedance. Like I said, maybe Dan is the better person to answer.
Yeah,
but,
no, I wouldn't. It's not. I don't think one out of 6. It's of all the samples we take. We're required to take 80 samples from residential units twice a year, and typically we're perhaps 10% of those samples will exceed the provincial limit, and that's the whole reason why we got into this corrosion control.
Yeah, I think the figures were 33
adjustment.
out of 180, or a little over 180,
Okay.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And so, what is the program doing to maybe curb that?
So that's why we're implementing corrosion control. Corrosion inhibitor will address the lead issue, and as a benefit, it's going to address the brown water issue as well. So primarily, the corrosion control is there because of the lead exceedances that we needed to take action to reduce lead in drinking water.
Is this in general throughout the city, or is there certain parts of the city?
No, it's not localized to any one area.
Mm-hmm.
It's generally associated with older homes, can be associated with older homes, and it stems from the fact that some homes were back in 1943 to 1948, we were using lead service lines at that time because of shortage of copper.